Hello and welcome to all of you astrology friends. This is a very small video, a short video I want to say, about Mars in Cancer. And I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while because it seems like that we have been having Mars in Gemini for ages now. Approximately like 7 months we have been having Mars in Gemini. And as I speak, whilst I'm recording this, it's still squaring up to Neptune and doing its stuff. But that means that you could say after the 21st of March, you know, when we have here in the Northern Hemisphere the equinox, it means that we are into new territory when it comes to this Mars, when it comes to freshness of doing stuff, and still in a Gemini kind of way, which is a bit all over the place and interested in a lot of actions that is related to the mind. But as I said, very soon, around and about the 25th to 26th of March, we're going to have Mars in Cancer. And that's going to be a whole different story. And I want to prepare you for this because it's such a shift in energy. And because we have been used to this energy for almost like 7 months, it's going to ask of us a little bit of an adjustment. And as I always say, forearmed is forewarned, is forearmed, or how do you say that? But anyways, it wants to say that it's very important to know when we have these shifts that we can make the most out of this energy of Mars in Cancer. It's gonna stay there approximately 6 weeks, round and about 6 weeks, what it normally does. So we have Mars in Cancer every single 2 years or so. And but what does it mean? So this video is about, in general, what does it mean? And then I'm going to have a look at the 12 signs shortly to know in what kind of area this energy is all about. Now, first of all, Cancer is a water sign. And when Mars, the planet of action, the planet of drive, the planet of intention, is in this emotional sign, we all come a little bit more emotional. And especially in our actions, that we are more driven by emotions. So for all of us, this is going to be a time where we are all a little bit more driven by emotion. That's not a good thing or a bad thing, but know that it can go a little bit moody in a way. Now, another thing is that if you take a person that is born with Mars in Cancer and you kind of translate it into this energy that we're all going to feel, a person with Mars in Cancer is here to protect and is here to do and be driven by this emotion of protection. And what it is, well, first and foremost, home and family, the people that they love. You will see, you know, whether you are a male or female. If you have Mars in Cancer, you find identity, which is Mars. You find your ego is done like this, when you can do things for other people that are in need of your support in some sort of way. Now, it can be a need of I'm ill and I'm gonna cook for you, or it is whatever it is. I'm going to move and I have no one to help me out to do the move, and that person with Mars in Cancer will be the first one on the row to want to help you. You know, if it's your friend or a family member or whatever. Definitely Mars in Cancer is super at its best when it can nurture, when it can protect you, when it can cherish you, cocoon you, or, build something of some sort of an emotional security, because it's ruled by the moon. So it definitely has plenty of good stuff there. And I hope that we all can tap into that energy to be of service, to be of protection for not only ourselves, for our emotional security, but also others. Now, what is a pitfall for the Mars in Cancer? The pitfall is emotionality, right? So that they are a bit like up and down every now and then. but definitely also manipulation. So the pitfall is that you would manipulate your way indirectly, doing actions so to gain control. That is the downside of a Mars in Cancer. So that is also why it is said, or one of the reasons why it is said that Mars is in its detriment. It doesn't like to be in Cancer, but I don't see it that way. It is an alternative of Mars in a certain sign, definitely, because in a more, you could say, flowy way, you could say that Mars is better in a sign where it can do whatever it wants to do and it's fired up, in a fire sign. But like in Aries, where it rules, it's the sign that it rules. But it is very interesting, this Mars in Cancer, for sure, if you're using it for the right way. So it's gonna backfire indeed when people try to manipulate, when people try to control, where emotional manipulation can be done quite often with people with Mars in Cancer. But it is when they are, hurt themselves, or when they are at a lower frequency, right? They are not vibrating at the highest level. So use it in the best, but if you use it in the best way, wow, it is it is an amazing energy, full of nurturing. Now, as I already said, Mars in Cancer, it's not the favorite position of Mars, but we also have to look at when Mars enters it around the 25th, 26th of March, when it enters the sign of Cancer, what is it going to do? And it's going to trine a very important planet, which is Saturn. So when Mars hits the sign of Cancer, it's going to make directly a trine with Saturn in Pisces at the very first 1 to 2 degrees of Pisces. And that is beautiful. That shows that this Mars in Cancer can be used in a way more positive way because it's getting the support of Saturn. And if you see Mars, so first of all, the possibility is bigger. The weather forecast is more towards the constructive side of Mars in Cancer. It's the builder. I call it the Bob the Builder for sure, because Cancer has to do with the home and Mars is doing effort. So it's like building your home, basically. I mean, very roughly said. But also literally, but figuratively. And so we can use this Saturn now in a very positive way, Mars trine Saturn, which is an aspect of stability. So isn't that lovely? I wanted to give this lovely news, especially when you are still feeling now, as I record this, we are on the 16th of March. Is it? 13, 14, 15, no, the 15th of March. Yeah, culpa. The 15th of March, as I'm recording this, and we're still feeling this very big Neptune vibe, which is the opposite, which is not clarity and blah, blah, blah. Watch the other videos if you're interested, my former videos that are talking about that. But this is, as I said, all a very Saturnal energy, which is welcoming, because Saturn is about stability. Saturn is about focus. And Saturn is not going to do something that the day after it will do something else. No. Saturn is focus. I mean, a Mars transit Saturn, I see it like the surgeon. It has to focus very, very strongly on something. And it has that patience. It has that mastery. And it's doing it slowly but surely. So it is with this trine of Mars and Saturn. There is a super focus possible. So if you feel like you've been all over the place, our actions are going to be, yes, a bit emotional and driven by emotions, but stable. Isn't that a beautiful aspect to have? And especially if you can apply it in a specific area of your life where you can apply actions with focus and stability in the long run. Right? So this is going to have its positive effects in a very long time. And it's in water signs. So whenever we see Mars in Cancer and then Saturn in Pisces, it has to do on a collective level of building emotions or building foundations, a home literally or emotionally for ourselves. And doing that with the support of, you could say, the unconscious. And that is giving us peace because we know where we're heading, and we also know that we're doing it in a consistent way. So what an aspect this is that we're going to have after this long period of being all over the place, of scattered energy, of not knowing where to go, of insecurity. Of course, this is a collective energy, so it's not going to be for everyone, but a lot of people are going to welcome this energy for sure. So let's delve into this Mars trine Saturn and in what houses it falls for each and every sign. Now for Aries, this is definitely about your emotions. This Mars is in your 4th house and it is trining Saturn in your 12th house. So this is for you, dear Aries people. It's emotional stability. It's feeling, it's like parenting yourself on an emotional deep level. It's nurturing thyself. It could be literally that you're doing lots of things at the home and that you're doing something to find more stability in your home, literally by doing better furniture, better curtains, better walls, whatever it is, better plumbing. And you could do that in a very structured way. But of course, for most of you, it's going to be on an emotional level. It's going to be on a level of emotions that you are peaceful, that you are having those times where, because Mars is your ruler, of course, so you're going to feel, even when you want to do things and feeling driven and emotional about stuff, you're going to feel that Saturn. It's almost like an invisible protector. Saturn in your 12th house. It's like you're tapping into energies of ancestries and otherworldly energies, so to speak. Although I don't want to be too impractical in these things, but it's definitely feeling support that you don't know where it's coming from, but it's there. And it's a stable support. So do the thing that you need to do around the home, in the home, or literally in your body. And your emotional body. Nurture yourself. Take care like a good mom for you. Be your own mom. And what it is for you. For some people, a good mom is someone who listens. For another person, a mom is someone who gives cuddles and all of that. So do that. Do that for sure. Taurians, this is on a more mental level. So this Mars in your 3rd house is there to do a lot of actions when it comes to, first of all, if you have your own business, to do your PR. It's a PR house. It's a house of communication. And Saturn is in your 11th house of friends and of organizations and your wishes. So it could be a stable factor there. With how you do your life when it comes to your communications, your networking, and so on. So a friend could be offering you a lot of stability in that respect, and also in the support of your mind, of the things and the plans that you want to do in the future, that they are not all scattered, but that they are consistent, that they have a plan, in other words. It could also mean that short trips will really be possible here, and to give you some nurturing energy almost. And you're being pretty active there. So it's not a short trip to relax and do nothing. It's better to be going around and doing some swing maybe, and do that with friends as well. You know, Saturn there giving you support, giving you nurturing and stability there. It could also mean that on another level, it has to do with siblings, with neighbors, that you're doing something together, you're working on a goal. But all in all, it's about the way that you think. It's about the way that you speak. You're going to be pretty much more speaky. Taurians, there are, of course, it depends on your Mercury. A lot of people with Taurus sun have, for instance, a Mercury in Aries. So that's a bit different. But for a lot of you, you have your Mercury also in Taurus. And these are people that are calm, that are not going to talk so quickly or loudly. Here, your voice is a little bit louder. Use it and do it in a very grounded way. And you're going to have a lot of good effects in the long run because of your actions here. It's also a good thing to learn something. That takes a little bit of time. Mars trine Saturn. and that you will have to go into a group where you are learning this, whether it is a cooking school or whatever it is. It's a good energy to start learning something that demands momentum and consistency. Geminis, this is about your values. This is in your second house. You have Mars in your second house trining this Saturn in your 10th house. Wow, this is career. For those of you who have a career, this is here an opportunity to hustle for the money and to improve your financial situation. There's a lot of stability here offered by Saturn, but there's also a lot of, you could say, momentum that you will gain by doing things day after day as a sort of a routine. Now, Geminis are known for not being keen on routines, but this is surely going to help you, especially if you want to change your financial situation, but also how you deal with your own talents and how you own your own talents. So a lot of stamina here for improving your work and for making it a better place, so to speak. For those of you who are not working, this has to do with your self-respect, how you want to be seen in the world, and how you want to deal with yourself on a level of your confidence. So being confident and working for this, and it's going to really, people are going to see you as someone who's very, very responsible, and you are going to enjoy that as well. Cancerians, this is Mars in your sign. Finally, this is the present, or you could say all those months of Mars in your 12th house. My goodness me, if that wasn't an indirect, kind of not easy thing to handle, it was the Mars in your 12th house. But now Mars is in your first house. You can show your actions now. You don't have to be so indirect anymore. And it is very much supported by your belief, Saturn in your 9th house, your belief in the universe, in God, if you like, or in nature. The 9th house is the connection that you have with all these things, whether it is your higher self, whether it is God, whether it is divine plan. You feel way more connected than ever. And it really has that structure now that is going to help you to pursue what you're going for. Mars in the first house is the moment, dear Cancerians, to start something new. Whatever it is for you that you want to start, whether it is a new relationship, a new job, a new project, you name it, it's time. The timing is right. And the stability is there as well. So it's not like just starting something emotionally and off you go. No, it is starting something that is dear to you, very dear to you, but it is with a lot of support, a lot of mental support, and a lot of stability and a lot of focus. I really, really like it. For those of you who want to build something, literally or figuratively, it's on. Leos, this is happening in very emotional houses. This is happening in your 12th house. So normally Mars in the 12th house is a bit of a challenge. Why? Because the 12th house is an unconscious house. So we are not really knowing what's going on there unless we go inwards and we introspect. We go inwards, we look within, and then the magic happens, because this is trining Saturn in your 8th house. Now, for these two, actually, Saturn in the 8th house, Mars in your 12th house, is not very easy. But if you mix the two together in this trine, it shows that there is a lot of working together towards activities behind the scenes, that is, or if it has to do with preparation, if it has to do with research, if it has to do with research for investments or to do investments in the long run. The 8th house is the house that you share with other people. Loans, inheritances, taxes, investments, it's all the 8th house. And with Saturn there, it shows stability. So it is a bit of a weird combination, but it's definitely a combination in the long run that can offer you a lot of security, basically. And definitely when you go inwards and when you go looking for how can I do things behind the scenes, but in a very, very place of full of integrity to build something in the future, then when these 6 weeks are over, I can take over, I can show what my plan was, and when Mars will be in your own sign of Leo. So it's definitely a preparation time that you're doing that can lead really to success within, after this Mars is out of the sign of the 12th house. Virgos, this is a social time for you with Mars in the 11th house of Cancer, and it's trining Saturn in your 7th house of relationships. If this isn't the social time, then I don't know what is. But it's a stable social time, which is nice. It's very stable. It's you taking the lead with Mars in your 11th house, or it could mean that there is a lot of activities that you're doing with friends, where you have some leadership role. So you don't need to take into hands everything and control everything. That's not what I'm saying. But it could mean that you're doing something with friends that is actually of a lot of support, and that is very cozy to do, whatever that is for you. You could have some cooking classes with friends, for instance, or whatever it is for you that gives you this emotional support amongst friends. But it's almost like by doing stuff, by being active together. It could also mean that, and there's a great support of, if you are in a relationship, of the partner there, it gives you that support so that the partner and the friends, that also goes well together. Definitely when you had some time where that wasn't the case, this could be very nurturing. If you're single, this could mean that there is stability in the friendship sector, and there could be someone that is a bit more of importance and a bit more serious and a bit more deeper and helping you with achieving your goals for the long run. And that is a nurturing thing. On another level, this definitely has to do with reaching your goals, Mars in the 11th house, and a support of a close romantic partner. That is very, very nurturing indeed when you can do that in the long run. So for Virgos, a lot of, you could say, social activity, but stable and long-lasting social activity. Librans, this is happening in key areas of your life, the 10th house. So Mars is there in the 10th house, which is all about work and career, trining Saturn in another work house, the 6th house. So for those of you who do work, this can mean a change, because Mars can often mean, a cutting off of an old job and a starting of a new one, but with a lot of stability here, with Saturn in your 6th house. And the stability comes from less is more. The stability comes from the focus that you have on those little things, on those little details. And so it can mean that you have a big task that you have to do, but and you're very driven to do that, but you've got a lot of stability coming up. So that's definitely a good thing. Also, if you have a drive to change jobs, this could be the moment to do that. And you're doing this slowly but surely. If you're not working, then this Mars in your 10th house is all about how you can offer society your good positive energy when it comes to your healthy routines that you do and your healthiness, basically, but also how you deal with your day-to-day life. That can give a lot of positive energy out there in the world. And so that can have a ripple effect on a very positive way for many people around you, not only around you, but, in general. Scorpios, this is happening in the fire houses. This Mars in your 9th house. The 9th house is all about travel. It's all about the higher mind, learning, teaching, studying, going to cultural events, traveling, and being very active whilst you are traveling. And the Saturn is in your 5th house, So this is all about stability when it comes to how you express yourself and how you enjoy yourself. So it's also less is more here, but it's definitely a good time if you have to travel for work, for instance, and to work a lot there and to create a lot of stability. It's definitely possible where you can combine pleasure with entertainment and work. It's a very, very lovely combination with a lot of stability. When you're doing something that has to do with writing and teaching and learning, huge opportunity here to work on that, to make that more stable as well. When it comes to children, you know, you could have like this beautiful higher mind and activity, you could say, when it comes to how you think about the world. And if you have children, you could really work with them around these topics of the world and how you see it and how you find trust in the universe and how you can improve your life because of that. Because that is what you believe in, you know, the things you believe in, and sharing that with your children or your child that is going through a phase of lots of stability but also lots of hard work. And so that's very, very beautiful energy indeed. But all in all, if you want to travel, if you want to write, teach, do it, you are going to have a lot of benefits from it in the long run, and also even having some pleasure there as well. Sagittarians, this is happening in your 8th house, this Mars, and it's trining the 4th house where Saturn is. This is real estate, you know, that combination. Of course, not all Sagittarians will buy and sell property, but it's a good time here. It's a good time to maybe because of inheritances, maybe because of, that's the 8th house, by the way, or because of, how do you call that? How do you call that? Insurances, yes, not insecurities, insurances. And by planning them differently, by working on those things that have to do with money that you share with another person, or that is owned to you, it can really mean a lot of stability here. And family can have a clue here as well, because after all, it's Mars in Cancer. So there could be some properties that have to be, that is of the family and that you want to improve, and that you, for the long run, you make it better in a way. So it's definitely a time here of construction, reconstruction, and some good real estate weeks here to, if you are interested in those areas, to become more successful. On another level, this is emotions. This is definitely a strengthening of the emotions. This is definitely feeling more stable when it comes to your emotions. And it seems like you have conquered something. It might have been your own shadow. It might have been something that you were very fearful of and now is conquered. And that gives you a tremendous amount of power and a tremendous amount of empowerment. So on a level of feeling very nurtured. Capricorns, this is a very important transit because this Mars is in your 7th house of relationships. But normally, Mars in the 7th house can be a bit challenging, a bit with a lot of discussions here and there, or fights, you could say. But as it trines Saturn in the 3rd house of communication, this is a very, very nice energy when it comes to relationships. It could mean that when you are in a relationship, a spouse, or that you are working together, you're doing quite a lot of communication. When you have a business together, for instance, you could be working on your PR, you could be doing lots of stuff there. If you are single, this is definitely a good time to be very active with other people. And actually, if you encounter someone new, it could be someone who is very active, right? Mars and fears and all of that, but also stable at the same time. So where you can have a lot of mental energy that is aligned, which is fantastic. But all in all, a very social time and a stable social time. So you're not going to be all over the place, but it's a very lovely time for you indeed. Aquarius, this is happening in your 6th house and it's trining Saturn in your 2nd. So this is about material stuff. You could be gaining here momentum when it comes to your work, when it comes to a promotion. It's definitely time, if you're thinking about it, do it. It's good energy here. It's stable energy here, but definitely a lot of activity, a lot of busyness that you can expect from a Mars there in your 6th house. There could be not only if you want to change jobs, for instance, it could be on here, and because you work very hard and you are really owning it and you are working consistently, that can be a very successful shift in your work and in your job. But also it's about your health. And you could be doing now things to improve your health that are working for you in the long run. You know, it's very easy to say, yeah, today I'm going to start, but to keep it holding on, it's a bit more difficult, not with this energy. So make use of it. If you're saying, yeah, I've been talking about this for quite a while, that I have to do a little bit more on my routines, you know, having a healthy diet, or doing like a couple of times in a week going for a swim, whatever it is, this is going to keep that consistency energy. Whatever Mars is starting here, it has like this more opportunity for longevity. So make the use of it. Last but not least, this for the Pisceans, Mars in your 5th house, trining Saturn in your house. Wow, this is lovely to starting projects, new projects that are dear to your heart. And you're not going to be all over the place. You're going to be very less is more kind of strategy, but very, very consistent with the Saturn in your sign. So new projects starting up. Also your connection with your children, if you have them, or wanting to have children, that as well could be very, very lovely here for this energy. A lot of the 5th house also has to do with your hobbies, with the things that you love to do to enjoy yourself. Of course, people could say, but work and marriage is all more important. Where Mars is your energy. So put focus on that, and you're going to have lots of stabilities and lots of long run, you could say, advantages of those things, of working from the heart and of doing things like a hobby that every single week you do an hour of this or that, of a cooking course or whatever. You know, it's Mars in Cancer after all, that loves to cook. But definitely a good time to start a new hobby and to start a new, something that is dear to you. Sports as well. You know, water sports, if you can, and if you love that, because it's in these water signs. So a lot of support is coming your way, dear Pisceans, to have a little bit more structure in a structured way. So not like having fun once a month, but having fun regularly, and it's very down to earth, and it's very lovely, and it's very heartening, and it feels good. So go for it. Whatever it is that you want to do, go for that new hobby, go for that new plan that can help you definitely in applying yourself and showing your creative self. Because Pisceans, my goodness me, are they a creative sign? Absolutely. Creation is definitely very important. And I don't mean to say that you have to cook and you have to people think when I say creativity, it's playing on the guitar and it's painting. It's more than that. You can be creative in your work. You can be creative in every single thing that you need to do or that you're doing, and enjoying it. That's the whole thing, enjoying it with passion. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Everyone enjoy this beautiful Mars in Cancer trining Saturn. And thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye-bye.